Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Office Hours. As you can see, I have a bit of a different setup today. I'm pretty pleased with myself. I've been kind of moving this thing around the room here and seeing what could be a little different, what could convey the sort of officeness of the office hours. And I thought, well, maybe this particular arrangement might help a little bit. The lighting is not, it's still not great. I'm not a professional. I don't know. I do have two things, like I got the alb here, I got the map there, and a shelf. I got the bookshelf there, and we'll see how that goes. One thing I will tell you is I have, my superior is a former art director, so before he was in the priesthood, Father Joe Ciccone, and so he came in after the last one and showed me what was going on with the background. He said, oh, you got to shift this over there. Very helpful being in a religious community. People have different gifts and they can point out things that maybe you don't think of. I don't have the best aesthetic sort of sensibility. I don't really care what things look like a lot of the time, and so you need somebody with that attention to give this just that professional sheen that we're looking for. Actually, it's okay. We're just casual here. Hope you all are doing all right on this Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception of Mary today, Friday, December the 8th. We have a few masses here at the Newman Center today. We have one at 7:30. We have one that's going on now at 12:30, and then I'm doing the 5:30. I'm very much looking forward. We'll talk about that more in a second. The only complicated thing about facing this direction, actually, that I'm noticing, or that I have noticed, is that I usually have notes on this computer to help me out. So instead, I said, okay, I'll just print off a few things. Problem being this. I don't seem to be able to see very well anymore. I don't know what's going on. I guess I got to get some spectacles. The idea has been suggested before, so maybe that is what I need to do. So I apologize if I'm just kind of, this is bad. A professional person would never do this, but I'm not a professional presenter or anything. I'm a priest. So if I'm like this, that's why. I just got some issues. What's been going on? Wow, what a week it has been. I tell you what, we had some really nice reconciliation time here at the Newman Center, because it's the first week of Advent has happened. On Monday, it was the students. The students put together this awesome Advent reconciliation service, and it was just like everything was right about it. They just had good reading. They had a really nice reflection from one of our students. Emily did a great job. It was just wonderful. And then we had 6 priests on hand, and we were able to hear confessions through the night. More confessions on Tuesday. Father Joe went up to another parish on Tuesday night to kind of help out for reconciliation for a bit, and that was great. Same on Wednesday, a lot of reconciliation. So it's been a great week, sacramental-wise. Really, really nice. One thing I will mention, and I had to put this on the notes, there's been a break. I've mentioned this before. There's been a break, though, in the tradition of my mentioning food in a homily and then receiving that food in my mailbox sometime in the near future following that homily. This was successful for the Kit Kat, among other things. It was successful for Panera in a different way. They didn't leave like a bowl of soup or something, but it was successful in that respect. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned pie, and there was no pie forthcoming. What I'm taking this as, and I'm taking this to spiritual direction, is that I think the Lord is trying to humble me and maybe say it's not what the homily is for, to gain food products. I'm only half joking about it anyway. But it would have been pecan pie. If it was going to be a pie, it would have been the pecan, however you pronounce it. So that's what's been going on. Just a good time, just wonderful. Today's Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary, as I said, it's a holy day of obligation. So you want to show up to Mass today. Hopefully, where you are. I know it's tough with work and things. So often places will have an evening Mass. So here you can come to us at 5:30. In reference to that, I've seen on what's called "quote unquote" Catholic Twitter, which is a very interesting phenomenon. For any of you who are on Twitter and you follow, or you're a part of this thing that is Catholic Twitter, some have been complaining about those who keep reminding us of what this solemnity is. Because the solemnity is, of course, about the Immaculate Conception of Mary, not of Jesus, of Mary. And so some folks remind us of that, as I'm doing right now. And so people complain. It's like, well, when are we going to stop reminding, enough, we get it, okay, fine, you get it. But whether it's like Catholic Twitter or Catholic Facebook or Catholic, like whatever the group, it's very easy to forget how insular these environments can be, and sort of forget, there's people who either didn't go to Catholic school or did go to Catholic school and just didn't pick up on this, for whom maybe they went some years where faith just wasn't that important to them, and now they're kind of curious and looking at it again, and instead of getting actual helpful information, they're just getting snarky people saying, why are we talking about these things that we already know? Well, some people may not already know it. I'm particularly sensitive to this because I didn't go to Catholic school. And when I entered a novitiate, I had to learn like what all the parts of the Mass were in terms of like, I knew what a chalice was, but like terms and things. I had to learn things, Catholic things. And so I guess I'm just sensitive to making sure we're never tired of putting like the basics out there. That's what I think. All right. So I'm sorry, I'm putting a lot of my negative energy out there again. I've got to stay positive. I guess that's just a challenge I'm dealing with. All right. So Immaculate Conception. One thing I'll say in terms of like, I don't have my homily put together yet. I got to preach it at 5:30. I'll come up with something. There's going to be a lot of videos out there that you'll find that do have like a good basic fundamental explanation. I just saw Father Mike Schmidt's video, and his was great, and it's like the perfect length, and it's got it all in there. I'm kind of been praying with a less sort of, the thing I've been praying with doesn't have a bow on it. I guess I put it that way. It's an incomplete thought, and yet it's something that I'm praying with and thinking on. Which is like the fact that Mary's being preserved from sin, as she was, from the moment of her conception, was preserved from original sin. And then it's like, okay, so that's the case. But what I've noticed is that, and what we can see just looking at her story, is that being preserved from sin didn't preserve her from the sins of others. So it's like Mary's sin didn't preserve her even from like difficult social realities. She still had to run away. Her and Joseph still had to run away at the threat of violence against her son. She was still a simple woman and probably lived like in relative poverty, right? And sin didn't, the absence of sin didn't protect her from that. Sin also didn't help in terms of as her son Jesus grows up and she had to experience his arrest, his torture, his death, and like the agony of all that. So I guess I'm thinking of that in light of whatever you want to call it, the prosperity gospel, or this idea that like if you live well and you live a life of virtue, well, in Catholic theology there's a sense in which you get this fulfillment from it and you're living the good life. It doesn't mean all good things happen to you. And it's a good thing to keep in mind, when you see people who are going through an extremely difficult time, or they're in difficult economic circumstances, not to think, well, they must have made some mistake or bad decision that put them there, And likewise, if you're in that situation, to understand and have this sense of God through Mary is really in solidarity with you, to have someone, a mother to turn to for comfort, who understands some of what that life means, that God is truly in solidarity and union with you. So that's just a thought. Again, incomplete, but I like incomplete theology. Does that make sense? There's something attractive about not knowing just yet, what all the answers are. So that's where I am. Thank you, Father Rich. We got a nice comment here from Father Rich. Yes, many well-meaning Catholics, right, don't know the basics, and we're called to minister to them. We're just called to accompany them and walk with them. And, it doesn't help to say, like, oh, you don't know that yet? What good does that do anybody? We're trying to lead people closer to God, not kick them out the door or lead them further away from us. It's not cool. All right, that's enough. I hope you enjoyed the new angle. We're going to be experimenting with different things as this first year of office hours goes on. But I do hope you enjoyed it. And I wish you many good blessings on this solemnity. All right, peace, everybody. Bye.